So, you've heard a lot of the names that are being tossed around for the next couple of years in the Cup Series. You know, guys like Kyle Busch, Ty Gibbs, Martin Truex Jr., all these guys that presumably could move up or move around to other top teams in the next couple of years. Even if you look at guys in the Xfinity Series, like guys in the Xfinity Series, like Sam Mayer could possibly be in the Cup Series in a couple of years. Austin Hill. Or hell, even Zane Smith has come up. But there's one driver that I think some of the top teams shouldn't rule out for signing if they have an available spot. And that driver is none other than the man himself, Corey LaJoie. And you're probably wondering why I'm saying this, why I'm saying that Corey LaJoie should be considered for top-level equipment. And I'm saying this because he is not, it's not always, but he sometimes is secretly one of the best cars on the track. And no one notices it. Like, he takes that absolute piece of flaming shit that is a Spire Motorsports car and runs up in the top 10, top 15 in it for like 30 to 50 laps. Like an entire pit/fuel run. He takes that car and puts it in the top 15 or top 10 in some cases. Like, that's like one of the worst cars in the field, by the way. Just saying. It's one of the worst cars in the field. And he puts it up in the top 15/top 10. Like, there was a point in the Darlington race today. Like, I know it's because he stayed out, but he stayed in the top 10 for like a solid 10 laps on older tires around a bunch of cars that were in better equipment than him for like 10 laps. And this was at Darlington too, a place where tires really matter. Like, the fact that he was able to stay with those guys for as long as he did is pretty goddamn impressive. And you see him at these super speedways. He's up in the top 10. He's competing for wins sometimes. Yes, I know it's on a super speedway, but it's the fact that it's happened more than once is enough proof to show that he should be in better equipment than he is. He is secretly one of the best cars on the track sometimes. In the times that he's not, he's being hampered by mechanical failures or the fact that his car is, a piece of shit. But, yeah, like honestly, I think that he's a really good race car driver, and he deserves more than he gets. Now, I'm not saying that he should be in like a Joe Gibbs or Hendrick type ride, or hell, you could even put Trackhouse in the mix, but yeah, he should at least be in like a mid-tier ride, like Wood Brothers or 2311. Like, he should at least have those rides. And it's not like he doesn't have sponsorship or anything. He has more sponsorship than a lot of drivers in the field. Like he has sponsorship from both Schluter Systems and Built.com. Both have sponsored him for the past 2 or 3 years, I want to say. I don't know. They were sponsoring him at fucking Go Fast when he raced there. Hell, I'm pretty sure Schluter Systems was around when he was racing at TriStar. I think I remember seeing a Schluter Systems scheme of him in a TriStar car like he has very committed sponsors on that number 7 machine, and if those sponsors are able to move up to a top level car, they would see a lot more screen time. So like if you're a struggling team, or not a struggling team, but a team that's struggling to get sponsors, sign Corey. Like, there's no reason to not sign Corey LaJoie if you're one of these teams. Like, if Trackhouse opens another car, they should sign Corey LaJoie, because that team doesn't have too much sponsorship. I mean, they've gained a bunch of sponsorship over the past year or so, but most of those sponsorships are sharing the 2 rides. If you get a third car in there, like let's say the 91 goes full-time in a couple of years, and put Corey in that car, you wouldn't have to worry about having those sponsors go over to the third car, because you have Built.com and Schluter Systems constantly sponsoring the car week after week. With a driver that's competitive enough to race for your team. Like you sign Daniel Suarez after being in piece of shit equipment, and in 2 years, he's a playoff contender and a winner in the Cup Series for your team. Corey LaJoie, he's performing well in the same piece of shit equipment that Suarez was running in 2020. Imagine what he could do in a Trackhouse car. Hell, he could be an annual playoff contender. I know that sounds hard to say now, but just he could change your team. And it's not like he does this, like, rarely. Like, it's every other week. It's every other week that he's up here performing well in this number 7 car. A car that should be in the back of the field for most of the race, like his teammate in the 77. But he's not. He's at the front of the field. And if that's not enough to impress you, then just look at his sponsors, and then you have no reason to not sign him. So yeah, that's my moral of this video. Corey LaJoie should be in better equipment than he's in, and to all you teams that are looking to possibly sign a driver for the next couple of years and are at least decently competitive, check out Corey LaJoie.